In some ways, this is all stuff you probably know, but I like to find alternative ways of presenting it because it might, rather than saying the same old thing again and again. So basically, our outer world, it seems really solid and real. I think that's a general thing. Nobody would disagree with that. And yet, it's actually a mental experience. Our outer world is actually a mental experience. In fact, everything that we experience is a mental event. And one of the reasons that dreams seem so real, one of the reasons that dreams seem so real, I don't know why that was so hard to say. One of the reasons why dreams seem so real is that they too are mental events. That's why in a dream it all seems so real, because all you ever experience are mental events. What is the nature of mental events? The nature of mental events is awareness. And there's a really important point that we'll discuss afterwards, I'm sure, which is that awareness itself lacks characteristics such as good and bad. Awareness itself has nothing to do with good or bad. And yet, we suffer. Do you see this? We suffer. Why do we suffer? It's because we judge the mental events. These mental events have nothing to do with good or bad, and yet we judge them. And so basically in life, we encounter all kinds of difficult situations, And the interesting thing is, and this again we can discuss afterwards, is that the suffering is not in the situation itself. The suffering is not in the situation. As soon as we reject and judge, the suffering has started. So you can see this whole activity of judging is very important it's a very important thing. And so is it even possible to be free from doing all this judging? Is it possible, like, what would that be like? What would it be like to be free of all the judging? Well, the situation in life would not change just because we stop judging it. The situation would be the same. We would still need to work with the situation. So one of the things to think about is, what would be different if you didn't judge the situation? What would be different? The situation would be the same. What would be different if you didn't judge? It might have something to do with how much we suffer. So, how do we find freedom from judging? How is that, how do you do that? The most important thing is to be in a relaxed state. That's the most important. To be in a relaxed state. Not trying to change things. not blocking, not fantasizing, and in particular, not needing to follow after thoughts. Again, like this experience of being in the cinema, just watching and experiencing all the activity, the movement, just resting there. And as you do so, you experience the aimless self-liberation of whatever arises. Okay? So, sounds easy. Sounds easy.
You're muted, Martin.
So we're not controlling our mind, just letting everything be. But there's one little extra, and that is, because we're very relaxed, we don't follow after our thoughts. We don't try to do something with them. It's completely lazy. just completely normal. What do you do when you find yourself judging your experience? Don't judge that. Just let be. Release. Relax. Let the thoughts free themselves. You don't even have to hold on to this. It's a natural condition. It's how you actually are. Aimless self-liberation, whatever arises. That's our nature. I know I said on Wednesday, that you should only sit for short periods, But when you find yourself in this natural state, there's no reason to leave it. Because it's your natural state. It doesn't leave, actually. Even when you're in activity. Okay, how's that? And I have my notes here. We can go over them like we did last week. But if they're probably the best way of doing this is, let me say goodbye. You need to go. Let me say goodbye.